Hey everybody, it's Triple J, and welcome back to another episode of Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. And today I have decided that we need to make a push. We gotta do a couple things. One, I do want to make a push to change this area. We need to change this from the factories and move the solar plant somewhere else. And then end up making this sort of a little bit of a neighborhood here to service the farms across the way. Now, we're going to have to find a place for the solar plant. We're also going to have to find a place for some industry, some more generic industry. And we had talked a little bit last time about doing that over here and doing some of that movement into this area. And I think that's going to be the way we do it. Also, another thing I want to do is before I started the video today, I put together a tree brush. And this is all just trees that I created, that I put together from the base game. I don't have any additional trees from the workshop. This is all what is included in the game, but this is using the forest brush mod. So all I did was create a new brush, and I added a bunch of trees that I wanted to add to the brush. I messed with the density and the size because I want to start to kind of fill in a little bit more of these neighborhoods. So I went ahead and just added a few bit of trees right here, and just want to start giving these just feel a little bit more filled in. And it's amazing what these trees can do. It really is. Like, it's just it can change everything so much. See, now we've kind of just added some trees in there to give a little bit of buffer to the highway and to this park area, and it just kind of makes everything feel a little bit more integrated into the space. Now, places where I don't want to do that just yet, probably right there is okay. But probably some places I don't want to do this just yet is right in here and right in here, because I don't know what I'm going to be placing here. Actually, what do we have here? We have houses. Okay, and then we have, because we have the train station here, so this basketball court. I don't know if I love that basketball court being there. It is across the street from the high school, which I do understand is maybe a better play. But what if I put it over here and then took the tennis courts and just put that behind the school instead? Yeah, and then already I'm getting off topic. Already, but this is the nature of City Skylines. It's also it can be frustrating because when you're trying to get stuff done, but it's also kind of part of the beauty of the game, to be honest with you, is just allowing yourself to play around. So let's just add that into there. I don't know, pretend that there's like a gate or something back there. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of foot traffic coming into here, going to the train station. In fact, how many people do we have on this train? 185. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I think what we'll do right here then is create just some more businesses. And then along the backside, I'm going to leave a gap on either side, so I can put a walking path between this, like so. And this will be a way for them to cut through, and then we can just add some trees in there. Perfect. And see how much nicer that is already? Like, we've just, you know, doesn't have to be green space everywhere. You don't have to put trees everywhere. Like, it's just, you don't have to do it, but it is a nice way to fill in areas and make it feel like everything is just a little bit more integrated. Now over here we have this recycling center. So it's possible that we could get away with maybe a little bit of industrial along this backside, but I also don't want it to be super close to there. So what if I just put a little bit of that right in there and see kind of what pops up? You know, I think industry can often tend to get overlooked as something that is just more of a necessity and something that it's just something that you need to place down, and you sort of like need to define a specific area for it. But you know what? If you do little bits of it here and there, it can be actually, you can kind of switch it and use um I don't know, use it to your advantage. Have a little bit of a couple, just, you know, a little bit of factories, a little bit of warehouses. That doesn't really hurt anybody, you know? And I don't think we're gonna have a pollution problem. There's already a little bit of pollution already from the recycling plant. I don't think it's gonna be that much more. We'll keep an eye on it. We can certainly keep an eye on it. I obviously don't want it to go out here into the, like, these little suburb area that we have out here. And honestly, the businesses are not super affected by it. So I could put some, you know what? I'm going to fill this with some businesses. And I'm going to place a skate park out here. Yeah. And then what I'll do is take a dirt path and kind of go underneath this road. Let me turn back on snapping and things. There. Then I'll just curve it to like that. I don't know, because of course, you know, once we unlock these tiles, we're gonna want that road coming across, and that'll be all well and good. But you know, like a couple little smokestacks here and there, I think that kind of fits the theme of sort of, you know, this small town kind of thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. In fact, I'm gonna do a little more. And sometimes even the one space, like if you just put down one dot, it will often create these little like oil tank type of things and sort of give you, I don't know, it just gives you a little bit different of a flavor for your industrial, which is cool. We'll see what pops in here. And I think it's gonna be just some sort of like a little oil tank, or that's what it looks like it's going to be, actually. Yeah, see, it's sort of this nondescript thing. It could almost belong to this building here. You know? It's just sort of a nondescript thing. It might be beneficial to maybe put up a fence. Maybe put up a fence like right about there to just sort of keep people out of the industrial area a little bit. You know, something like that, right? And then out here, I mean, I think it can just be trees or just kind of nothing. I like the idea of sort of separating, just giving a little bit of a green space here. I'm not convinced yet that I know what it is, though, so I'm not going to force it and put anything there that I don't think is appropriate. So, oops, I don't want to do that. I want to turn collision back on. And that's just road anarchy that I'm using there, so it doesn't collide through the trees. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now that we've gotten sufficiently off topic, let's go and strip away the commercial. Let's just strip all of this away, actually. We have the money to do so. We're going to have to figure out where we want to move the treatment plants. I think there could even be a benefit to having, like, the treatment plants, maybe even the power plants out on this little island out here. Just sort of like an industrial little place. I mean, there's already, I don't know. There could be a benefit for that. But yeah, we're going to move this as well. Now, that could be a candidate for over here, but it is really loud, I think. Let's double check the noise pollution. Yeah, it's pretty loud. So I'm not sure if that's something we want to put down here. Another thing we're going to want to do, and we can actually do that right now, is upgrade the highway that will to the barriers, the sound barriers that will help eliminate some of the noise, especially for these residents that are up against the highway here. See how much they're already getting happier. Love it. We can't do that yet because it's not in our tile. But now if we look at the noise pollution, it has knocked that back quite a bit there. You can see this side to the other side. A little bit more. A little less loud. Yeah, because, you know, industry like this also creates noise pollution, but it does give it another layer of this sort of grunge. I don't know, it gives it some texture to your city, right? You don't need a lot. You can just put a couple little buildings down, right? And it won't create, it shouldn't, I'll put a disclaimer, it shouldn't create that much traffic. You can see some trucks moving in here. But again, this road is not super congested, and once we have this crossover point, we may end up making an on-off system right here. I think that was something that we had discussed. But yeah, so what we could maybe do, how can we connect it though so that it has well, here's something we could do. What if I took the only, so what I'm thinking about in my head is connecting potentially this road up to over here across the way, and then also taking a road and pulling it this way. The only reason I wouldn't want to do that is because I think I would rather have the citizens use the highways, right? If you make a road that connects two different places together, you do have to consider that if it is a faster route, people will start to use that, and then it'll congest your local streets. So you don't want to do that. You just want to be careful. You just want to be aware of the fact that you want to force people to be using the faster roads when possible. But if it's a shorter route for them to go to the downtown using that road, we might get some congestion on here, and I don't think that's what we want. So instead, with that in mind, though, I think I'm going to connect these pieces up. So let's go straight across with this with a 2-lane highway. We'll kind of make it a little bit of an express, and then we'll make a little bridge. I don't want, I don't want the massive bridge on it. To about there. We can mess with the heights later on. And then as soon as it crosses, I will put it back to the industrial road. We'll go like that. I might try to give ourselves a little bit more room here. I think it's gonna be fine to actually put a level crossing there. And then this side can be for the treatment plants. Let me get rid of this. Something like that. Okay, let's try this. Let's see what we can do with this. So let's first move the solar updraft tower. And let's pop that there. Feels like an appropriate thing for an island too, right? Kind of looks like it might be, I mean, obviously it's only solar power, so it's not, dangerous necessarily, but it does look like a building that you would maybe put on an island a little bit away from people, just in case something, something happened, or there was an explosion or something. So I think that can work. Level that out a little bit. Okay. Then let's look at moving this. So I'm going to pause the game because if we move it, it will lose its water pipes. So let's move these. I'm going to put them there. Put one there. We have two over here. And seeing as how we are in need of more water already, can I put a larger one? Actually, let me shift this one over to about there. Now give ourselves just a little bit more space so it doesn't look like it's falling off the cliff. And we are in need of more water, actually, so I'm going to use the advanced inland water treatment plant. Oh, there's the eco ones. Is this the eco one? These are. Oh, we haven't unlocked that one yet. Ah, I see. When do we unlock this? 28,000 population. Well, for now, we're just going to go with the advanced inland one in between. Just to give ourselves a little bit more water. And then all we got to do is connect these up with pipes. Like that. Great. There's one more actually over here, but I'm just going to get rid of that. So then all we have left is this recycling center, which we can... Can I shift that to here? Yes, I think that is appropriate. I don't love the gravel to... the gravel road to the concrete, but it's not the end of the world, and there are ways to do that with mods and assets and things. Okay, and then as far as the firehouse goes, let's put that on the main avenue, and then the medical clinic also on the main avenue. And then I'm gonna dump these roads. Okay, the water now intake. We're gonna have to move water intake. And let's take, we don't actually have to worry about the poop water flowing into the water. So we could do water intake on this little island because it doesn't actually need road access, which is cool. I may end up doing something with this at a later point, but for now, let's maybe make that over here. I think we'll make that a proper area at some point. That's right on the edge there. So let me grab that. Whoops. There. And then we'll actually add another one because we're short on water. Boom. That one should be connected. Now what I'm going to do is go through here. Actually just clean up a little bit of this. Just make it back to our straights. This, of course, doesn't really matter, but it makes me feel better. Okay, so as far as pollution goes, let's see what the ground pollution is. Yeah, so we've moved a little bit of that over here. The industrial buildings are going to... But that will eventually soak up. The ground will essentially heal itself at some point. And real quick, let me just check water. Yes. Doing better. Our sewage treatment isn't super great yet, but... We'll do that in a little bit here. Now, of course, I'm going to probably want to continue this tiny little, like, village on this side, probably over to this area. So what I don't want to do is box myself in just because the dotted line is here, because we'll eventually be able to get a new tile there at some point. Just keep that in mind when you are expanding, that just because you're running up against the map edge doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, that's the... You know, you're not going to have any more room, so then don't create it so it looks like it's just ending, if that makes sense. Right, like I did this over here, but I think once we unlock this tile and we redo this interchange, I think we'll end up redoing this to be a 4-lane at some point and then reconnect up to the highway over here somehow, because we'll probably have more people living in here. Once that's all done, though, I will probably, you know, add a little bit more to this neighborhood to make it feel, you know, more full. Things like that. Okay. Let me just get this all flattened out. We're a little bit of a height difference. That's so negligible. Okay. So then out here, we're going to want another just little township, right? So we'll probably continue with the, some commercial buildings on the avenue. Let me go down to about there. And I'm using the grass line streets. I don't want to get super close to this. Probably want to keep it about as far away as we have it over here. Let's actually go... So I'm not going to make that connection point, but I want to line it up with that. Yeah. Because I'm not going to connect to there, because it's just way too close to the on-off ramps. Way too close. I'm going to leave 2 spaces between the avenue and here. I don't know what this is just yet. I don't know how we may be able to kind of capitalize on some of the shoreline. It's possible we could do some fishing zones out here or something. Maybe some fishing docks on this lower height level. Possibly. That could be nice. We could even do some industrial. We could even do some industrial fishing right here. Kind of at the mouth of this river. I don't know. Possibilities. And this is just... I'm going to leave a gap between. And this is just going to be residential. Gridded residential. Nothing too fancy. I think I want like a big park in that corner. Yeah. Park. How about the friendly neighborhood park? Yeah. I can go like that. We can just sort of dance that over to there. Fill it in with some trees. We will grab some more commercial zoning. This will all be residential. Take a look at the pollution. It's going away. It is going away. By the time they move in, yeah, I think it'll be okay. We might have a little bit of sickness, but I'm actually not too worried about it. I don't know where this road is going yet, so let's just not deal with that. But I'm gonna have to put a school in on this side, I imagine. Yeah, in fact, we're not short on schools. It's just it's more about where they're placed. What if I put a school across the street from this park? And we put another little playground across the street. Then maybe add a crossing right there. And I'm going to get rid of those lines because I want to add a fence in here. Just a little tiniest buffer between the houses and the school. High school. I'm going to not have a high school right now here. I might add one later down here if this continues to expand, but for this little tiny area, not going to do it. I'm going to plop another large playground there. Just for, I don't know. Just because. A little corner shop there. Add people on this side. Because we need to get our population going. We haven't hit a milestone now in a couple videos. Yeah. We're getting close to the 17,000. And then we can pick up the waste processing complex and the transfer facility, which will be very, very helpful for our trash collection. Now, this is going to get a little busy for a minute because everyone's trying to, like, move in and things. Again, oh, Strawberry Farms reached level 4. Area bonus. So we're 12% more efficient now, and our pollution is going down another 30%. We unlock the clothing factory and the unique buildings, farm maintenance building, large barn, and a slaughterhouse. Okay. Let me finish my thought over here, but if we expand this neighborhood, there's definitely a possibility that we have another connection point to the highway here. This is servicing a lot of things right now, and truthfully, these kind of very simple diamond interchanges just don't scale super well. So yeah, I mean, you always want more connections as possible, right? You want to make it as easy for people to get on and off the highway as you can. The more you have of those, the better off you'll be. All right, so Strawberry Farms. Let's expand our farms a bit here before we end this video. So now we have the farm maintenance building, which increases their utilization rate and reducing wastage. Each maintenance building increases the storage capacity of the industrial buildings by 5%. Okay. Okay, that's good. Those are all good things. So let's put that maintenance building. Can I fit this on this corner? And maybe, just maybe, kind of shift it a little. So then, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Just so it feels a little bit more integrated. Cool. So we have that down, and we can actually put as many of those as we'd like, which is cool. But let's pop down a slaughterhouse. Wow, this is a massive building. Do we have animal pens? We do, yeah, we do. So the slaughterhouse, it's really a big building. Do I even put the milking parlor down? Because the milking parlor does the same thing essentially as the slaughterhouse. It turns grain into, or your it processes like animal products essentially, right? Using crops to make animal products. So it does essentially the same thing. It's just a bigger facility that manages more production. But I think for our purposes, the milking parlor, especially considering how big these farms are, it's quite small. I think we just put down a milking parlor. I think we unlocked this at our last one. So this will bring animals into here, and then they will milk them and make animal products for us. Yeah, that slaughterhouse is just, I mean, I could put this maybe in a more sort of, I don't know. It's just really big. I'm not sure how it fits in the aesthetic of these farms. You know? Like this farm, in my head, this farm is more built for large fields, not large production buildings, right? It's more about the crops themselves. That feels better to me than putting down a massive amount of that kind of stuff, like the big production. It's not an industrial farm, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It feels like it's a more rural, more field focused farm. And we can always have industrial farming. We can do that. It's just, to me, it feels like that looks a little different than what we have kind of set up here. Great. This is all popping in splendidly. I'm going to take our tree brush. Just fill a little of this in. Give us a little bit of a buffer. Same thing kind of over here. Although, was I going to put housing on the other side of this? Oh. Absolutely I was. Although, I feel like I can see a little bit of like apartment buildings right here. Oh, and these are schools? Yeah. Let me put a couple tennis courts down in here. The schools. And then maybe just a little pavilion type of thing. Next to the school. Yeah. Something like that. Fill that in a little bit. I don't know I don't know what's happening over here yet. I haven't done enough assessment of this particular area in a bit, so I'm not going to do all that, but it is certainly coming together, right? It adds so much, man. Just putting a little bit of those trees in there adds a lot. So we did a little bit. We transformed this area. And I think that's a great example of how you can kind of transform things, move things around, right? That was our very first original place that we put industrial buildings, and we just transformed it. You know, later on, once we've expanded and we've changed our thinking a little bit and we've got some more tiles, now we can start moving pieces around. So, you know, initially, don't be afraid to just sort of plop stuff down and have it not look very good or not have it very thought through, because later on you can move it and change it around. And I think we even talked about that potentially in our very first episode. But you know, just like everything, cities evolve. Right, things change. Maybe not on the drastic scale that we're doing it, but you know, things move around. So, everybody, that is going to do it for me for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I do really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. Bye, everybody.